let's go live to Enniskillen and have a chat with Dougie Beattie, who is there. Dougie, what was it like there?
Well, good afternoon, and yes, it was a very sombre occasion here in Enniskillen, but it was also very, very wet indeed. But Enniskillen, of course, holds other scars of Remembrance Day. The Enniskillen bomb going off here in 1987 during the Remembrance Day service that killed 12 and injured 63. So there was many dignitaries here today, including the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Chris Heaton-Harris, John Boucher, the new Chief Constable, and rather strangely, but well, in recent years, was the Taoiseach, the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar. Most people forget that during the First World War, Ireland was as one. It was part of the UK, there was no border here, and not one village in Ireland did not feel a loss of losing a young male in the First World War. And they were very much ignored right up to about the 1990s, when the President of Ireland, Mary Robinson, really took it under her wing to try and engage with us and correct that wrong. And ever since then, we have really had a Taoiseach come to Northern Ireland to lay wreaths and to respect the dead, the Irish dead, that were lost in the First World War. So quite a day for Enniskillen. The weather wasn't with us, but all in all, a very sombre and respectful day.
Thank you, Dougie. Let's go over live to Birmingham and have a chat with Jack Carson. Jack, what's it been like where you are?
Well, it was a really impeccably attended and also well-respected service as well, particularly those 2 minutes of silence, really poignant as Birmingham, the whole of Birmingham seemed to fall silent at 11 o'clock. The barriers were packed with people that are coming to pay their respects, but also watch, of course, the fantastic military parade that we saw. We saw members of the Fusiliers, of the Army, of the Navy, of the Marine Corps and the Royal Air Force as well, who then all, of course, took the salute from the Lord Lieutenant on the stage as well. But of course, speaking to some of those people as I did earlier, I spoke to Major Noel Hannon of the Royal Corps of Signals and also Alan Evans, who's not only a veteran of the Royal Corps of Signals, but he was also the parade marshal today for the veterans that took the salute as well. Here's what both of them told me a little bit earlier on.
Well, I live in Birmingham now. I've not lived in Birmingham for too long, but you know, it's sort of a very welcoming city. Wherever it is that I am at that point in time, I always come to the Remembrance service. So I've spent Remembrance Sunday in Iraq and Afghanistan over the time I was there. It's a very, very important day for me. Very important to come down here, particularly, you know, what's going on in the world at the moment. You know, you come down here today. There's no politics. There's no protest. It just is what it is. You know, we're just here to remember.
And what for you did you think about during those minutes of silence?
I think about friends who aren't lucky enough to be here, not be able to be with their families and partners today. That's what I was thinking.
I'm fortunate to be the parade marshal, the veterans. My role is to assemble and then march them through in front of the uniformed personnel. Every year is an honour. The actual parade today went really well. A lot of veterans turned up, and even more veterans were in the crowd. Good to see. It was a good parade, all horrible weather, but nobody bothers about the weather when you're marching.
It was such a fantastic sight to see the veterans, particularly when they marched round as part of the parade at the end of the service and took that salute, because Birmingham has such a proud military history. In World War I, more than 8,000 men and boys from this city went over to France and Belgium to fight in the trenches. And of course, when you got to the Second World War, as part of the beating heart of the UK's industry, this was, of course, heavily bombarded by Nazi bombers as those manufacturing took place in this city and the surrounding areas, of course, to try and help out the troops, of course, trying on the continent. So this place has such a history, of course. The West Midlands in general, was at the Arboretum, of course, yesterday. So all weekend here in the West Midlands, as part of these acts of remembrance, have not only been impeccably well respected and attended, but also those solemn feelings and that humbling feeling, as you heard there from the veterans, particularly that attended this event, have been strong here in the city.
Thank you very much, Jack. And finally, Theo Chukumba, he's national reporter. Theo, where are you?
Yes, well, very good afternoon. So I'm in Chelmsford in Essex, and hundreds of people came here to the heart of Chelmsford at Duke Street. And just to my right, there's a memorial here, and young people, veterans and more laid wreaths here just after the 2-minute silence was held here just after 11 a.m. There are people from across the county, just as we've seen across the UK, and we spoke to some of them after the service, and this is what they had to say.
I think it's fantastic. I've only started doing it for the last 5 years, maybe 6 years, and it's really good. I think myself, I think it's what's needed. You know, we're all the same. We all bleed the same. Doesn't matter white, black, whatever. We are all part of this world. So as far as I'm concerned, the people who are giving their lives for our freedom, if I can't give them half hour, standing in the rain, like yourselves, you know, lovely day.
Well, every year we come to the cenotaph to remember the fallen and those of us. I have relatives who are in the forces serving today, and so I make my mark each year. It's something we need to remember, we shouldn't forget, and each year I see it as my duty to do it, and I come to do it every year without fail, no matter what the weather.
Oh, I thought it was really great. It was quite a good time to reflect and think about people who died and stuff, hence the rain and the cold and everything. But we were standing right in front of, was it the RAF cadets? Which was really cool because we could see them focusing, and we saw the cannon fire as well, which was really interesting actually.
So I was chatting to Nana, and I suddenly
Seen and heard there were people from all ages, all backgrounds who were here in Chelmsford, and during that service we saw today poetry was read out reflecting on those who have served for this country and those who are serving at the moment, to reflect on the freedoms that this country has in this day and age. And as we heard from some of those people, they say this is now something I'm going to be doing every single year to remember those who've given the freedoms we enjoy today.
Thank you so much, Theo, Jack and Doogie and Cameron. Thank you all.